led North-South cooperation, which came into existence only in 1961, and of course the Marshall Plan was one of the leaders in this. In this conference, we are trying to cover different dimensions of South-South cooperation, which are important for theorizing this exercise. The academics from the South has to make efforts for deepening the work which Raul Prebisch led all of us with his center-periphery theory. This conference is an effort in that direction. We need to see that the rise of the South is peaceful, and we do not repeat the center-periphery theory on which Raul Prebisch wrote extensively. With preparation for BAPA Plus 40, United Nations is planning several reports, and I'm sure Delhi process would be able to deliver the required outcome, all that is needed by my friend Jorge Shedek and his team, well in time and of high quality. We are fortunate today that we are joined here by Her Excellency Ms. Maria Fernando Espinazo Gracias, the President-elect of the 73rd session of the UN General Assembly, under whose leadership the world would be shaping a new narrative on ECDC and TCDC. We are also fortunate to have Professor Amitav Acharya, who has earned great respect across academic circles and in policy world with his pioneering work on non-Western IR theories. Secretary T.S. Tirumurti is leading us on India's constant efforts in deepening the understanding on South-South cooperation. Within the few months of his taking over this current responsibility, India could bring in IPSA leaders together, IPSA Sherpas in Chennai, and we could prepare the ground which all the external affairs ministers from IPSA countries could launch on the sidelines of the BRICS, the IPSA declaration on South-South cooperation. On behalf of organizers, the team of the United Nations Office on South-South Cooperation, NEST, FIDC, and of course RIS, I once again extend warm welcome to all of you and would invite the chairman of RIS for his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to be long at all. I think everything that needs to be said has been said by my colleagues. So before I give the floor to Director Jorge Shedek, let me say the following. I think I dislike intensely the expression theoretical perspectives in the title, and I plead guilty. We shouldn't really be talking about theory after so much of South-South cooperation and after so much work that RIS has done. But I understand that the theoretical perspectives are important in order to be able to understand what we need to do. But I have only 3 points. One, I'm dying to hear Her Excellency Maria Fernando Espinosa about what the UN has in store for us. You will be, stewarding and leading this UN General Assembly session. I would love to know what her perspectives are. I also want to know what South-South is going to do with regard to the new challenges such as cybersecurity and in particular artificial intelligence, robotics, whether there is an impact on developing countries and whether the South should have a unified position. On cybersecurity, we have the issues of net neutrality and data privacy. We've just come up with a Sri Krishna Committee report on the subject, and I would be interested in knowing what the South has to say. But more than anything else, really, it's a question of the existing global architecture giving way to a new one. And there is no sense in brushing problems under the carpet. You have the Belt and Road Initiative on which we have concerns, some others do, but you also have the Asian Infrastructure Bank and the New Development Bank. So there is new architecture that is sought to be put in place, and some of it is clearly meant to replace existing architecture. Can we have a South-South perspective on it? Is there a Southern perspective? So I think some of these issues need to be confronted head on, and that is the purpose, as I see it, of this conference. So once again, let me add to what my colleague Sachin Chaturvedi has said. Welcome to all of you. A great honor to be hosting the President-elect of the General Assembly. And maybe, Sachin, with your permission, I should give the floor to the Director, UNOSSC, Jorge Shedek. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. Señora Presidente, Madam President-elect of the 73rd session of the General Assembly, Dr. Mohan Kumar, Chairman of RIS, colleagues at the table, or protocols observed. Following up on the words of Dr. Chaturvedi, the international community, through the General Assembly, agreed to hold next year a conference to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the Buenos Aires Plan of Action. Actually, the 40th anniversary itself will be the 12th of September of this year. So I invite all of you to commemorate it and use that occasion to highlight the importance and the contributions of South-South cooperation. We are doing that in New York in an event attended by very senior authorities. I hope you will be able to accompany us, Madam President. And the idea of having this conference is there are many new realities outlined by Dr. Chaturvedi, by you, Mr. Ambassador, that the dynamics have changed. The South is of 1978 is not the South of 2009 of Nairobi, and it's not the South that we have today, and it's not the South that has to work together to achieve the 2030 agenda. Therefore, it is useful, it is important now that we have this new objective reality of a different geostrategic, geopolitical, economic geography at the global level, and also we have a new global agenda. The global agenda of the SDGs, the global agenda of Rio, the global agenda of Sendai. So we have to get together and put together the policies to have more and better South-South cooperation. My office has been designated the secretariat of the preparatory process. And that is one of the reasons we are so eager to partner with RIS and with the Delhi process, because here we have some of the best thinking of the think tanks of the South, which can be critical for the political process that will be initiated in the next few months. So this agenda evolves beyond the complex political dynamics it always has in the New York context. I'll give you some idea of the next steps. This month, the Secretary General has to present a comprehensive report on the status of South-South cooperation. That report is being finalized as we speak between the Office of the Secretary General and other units in New York. And we hope that it will be a document that produces a very good inventory of what South-South cooperation has done, and also gives new ideas of the challenges and the issues that could be addressed in the Buenos Aires conference. After that, the President of the General Assembly, and it is really an honor for us to have you here, will establish the process for the member states to negotiate the outcome document of the conference. According to the modalities resolution, by December, such draft document has to be produced, and the negotiations have to be concluded by February. So in March, when the member states get together in Buenos Aires between 20 and 22nd, they will be concentrating on the next steps, not trying to finalize the negotiation of the document. The overarching theme of the conference is the role of South-South cooperation and the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, challenges and opportunities. I tell you an anecdote. It was difficult to negotiate this because there were some member states and some intellectuals that said we could not link or need not link South-South cooperation with any particular agenda. But being a UN conference, it had to be linked to the UN, the 2030 Agenda agreed in the context of the global negotiations. The sub-themes of the conference shall be comparative advantages and opportunities of South-South cooperation, challenges and the strengthening of the institutional framework of South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation, sharing of experiences, best practices, and success stories, scaling up the means of implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in support of South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation. As you can see, the themes are very ample. I will look forward to working with you, the thinkers of the South, and with the member states to facilitate this process. We have a lot of requests to organize preparatory meetings, some by UN agencies that want to concentrate on thematic areas, some by member states that want to enrich their own perspective and also share their own ideas. I will look forward to working with you in that process. My best to partner with you, Dr. Chaturvedi, and I want to finalize by thanking the government of the people of India. I'm here sharing the table with Ambassador Tirumurti, who is the chair in the Ministry of the IPSA Fund, the India, Brazil, South Africa Fund, established over 10 years ago, that has produced excellent initiatives in partnership between the three countries to assist other member states, and the more recent and extraordinary creation of the India UN Development Fund, led by Ambassador Akbaruddin. Thank you very much for the partnership and the confidence on our office, through which India has committed $150 million for South-South cooperation. So India is not only showing intellectual leadership through RIS, political leadership through the traditional work of your diplomacy, but also is committing resources to make South-South cooperation a reality. Thank you, and thank you to all the participants. And also thanks to the government of Argentina that will host the conference.
Yes, that's right, and we are
My
glad that
ambassador
ambassador is here. Thank you, Mr. Chadiak. Now I invite the ambassador, Mr. Daniel Chabaru, for his remarks.
Thank you so much, Mrs. President-elect of the General Assembly, the organizers and good friends, Mr. Ambassador Kumar and Dr. Chaturvedi. It is a great pleasure for me to be here with you today in the inauguration of this space where all of us will debate in the framework of the Delhi process towards the VAPA Plus 40 conference. The forthcoming United Nations commemorative Buenos Aires Plan of Action conference will take place in my country in March of 2019. Will be a great opportunity to discuss and redefine the dynamics of South and triangular cooperation. Over the past years, we have witnessed an increased multilateral activity in which southern countries have demonstrated great dynamism and decision-making process at the global and regional level. Nevertheless, it is necessary to point out that the promotion of South-South and triangular cooperation should be done in a complementary way with traditional cooperation and its historical commitments regarding capacity building, transfer of technology, and provision of financial resources to developing countries. Thus, the second high-level UN conference on SSC will need that all development actors work together in order to redefine and rethink their functions and actions to face an objective that has become dynamic and multidimensional, such as sustainable development. On this regard, Argentina strongly believes that South-South cooperation has to play an important role in creating a new multilateralism and drive the achievement of the global partnership for sustainable development. It is stressed that 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals constitute the major global political consensus of our time, which calls for analyzing the current model of development in all our nations. As we all know, since Nairobi Declaration, there has been a growing demand for an inclusive and more representative SSC governing platform, able to adapt global commitments to national capacities. Taking this context into account, Argentina supports the idea that the BAPA plus 40 outcome should be one that launches a dynamic and continuous process able to collect the updates that arise around South-South cooperation and development. In this sense, the document to be adopted in Buenos Aires should be action-oriented and with a clear mandate for the future approach on the following objectives. First of all, institutional strengthening of South-South cooperation. Having a solid institutional platform for the management of SSC is the basis for an adequate development of cooperation projects. 2, promotion of a better regional and interregional articulation and synergies. Regional and interregional platforms are association schemes with great potential for building network, establishing of peer review mechanisms, and to coordinate positions in global forums. 3, promotion of triangular cooperation and strengthen mechanisms for joint